Alright, so this is for writing a linear model. So the problem we're given is a car rental company charges a flat fee of $19.95 plus 20 cents per mile. Part A says, write an equation that expresses the cost Y of renting a car if the car is driven for X miles. So we know the cost is Y. So the cost Y equals, we know it's 20 cents per mile, and miles are X, so we'll write 0.2 times the number of miles driven X plus our flat fee of $19.95. You could have written 0.20 to represent your 20 cents, but that 0 at the end is unnecessary. So here is our equation. The cost Y equals 0.2 or 20 cents times X, the number of miles driven, plus that flat fee of $19.95. Part B says graph the equation. Well, we know that the $19.95, that's the y-intercept. That's what happens when X is 0. So if we took our equation, Y equals 0.2x plus 19.95. If we let x equal 0, so y equals 0.2 times 0 plus 19.95. 0.2 times 0 is 0. So that term cancels, and we just have 19.95. So that gives us the point when x is 0, y is 19.95. That's our y-intercept. So we can graph that basically as 0.20. For the purposes of graphing by hand, that'll be fine. So we go to x is 0, y is 20, and we'll put a point there. Now we want to pick some other easy ones. So the first one I'm going to pick is to let x equal 100. So y equals 0.2 times 100, so that's x is 100, plus 19.95. Y equals 0.2 times 100. To multiply by 100, you're just moving that decimal place 2 places to the right. So that's 20 plus 19.95. So y equals 39.95. So when x is 100, y is 39.95. And for our purposes, we're going to treat that as 40. So x is 100, y is 40. So 10, 20, 30, 40. And put our point. Now the last one I would choose is just let x equal 200. We'll double it. So off to the other side, y equals, we know it's 0.2x plus 19.95. We're going to replace our x with 200. So 0.2 times 200 plus 19.95. So y equals 0.2 times 200. That's going to give you 40. 40 plus 19.95. So y equals 40 plus 19.95 is 59.95. So when x equals 200, y is 59.95. And for graphing purposes, we'll just treat that as 60. So we go to x is 200, and then we go up to y is 60. That gives us 3 points, so we can graph a nice straight line. Alright, so then C says, what is the y-intercept? What does it mean in the context of this problem? Well, we've just stated that the y-intercept is x is 0, y is 19.95. We know that because our equation was in slope-intercept form. So it says, what does this mean? Well, we know x are the miles, so that x is our miles, and we know that y is the cost. So this is our cost. So we can say it costs $19.95 to go 0 miles. What that's really saying is that if we rented the car, but we didn't drive it anywhere, that would cost us $19.95. All right, so part D says, using the equation from part A, find the cost of driving the rental car 50, 100, and 200 miles. Well, the nice thing is we've already done all the work for 100 and 200 miles when we graphed it, so we just have to do it for 50. So y equals 0.2x plus 1995, and we're going to plug in 50 for x. So y equals 0.2 times 50 plus 1995. So y equals 0.2 times 50. That's going to give us 10 plus 1995. So y equals, that's $29.95 for 50 miles. And then the others we can just pull from the top. We know that the 100 miles was $39.95, so we'll say $39.95 for 100 miles. And then it was $59.95 for 200 miles, so we'll write $59.95 for 200 miles. Find the total cost of driving the rental car 100 miles if the sales tax is 6%. Well, we already know that for 100 miles that the cost is $39.95. So the first thing we have to do is figure out 6% tax on $39.95. So the tax is going to be 0.06, that's 6% as a decimal, times $39.95. When we do that calculation, we get 2.397. And rounding to the nearest penny, that's going to give us $2.40 in tax. So now we need to add that tax to our cost. So $39.95 plus $2.40 is going to give us a total of $42.35. The last one says, is it reasonable to use negative values for x in the equation? Why or why not? So first off, what does x represent? Well, once again, x is the number of miles driven. So this is miles driven. So really what we're asking ourselves, is it reasonable to drive x a negative number of miles? Can you drive a car a negative miles? No. Right? You can not drive it at all, and that would be 0 miles, but you can't drive it negative miles. So we will say no, you cannot drive a negative number of miles. And that's it for this problem.